True Sky, Virgo, welcome to your reading for the month of July. So for the solar transit through the sign of Gemini, which we're still currently in, I'm using a lot of fairy themed decks. So for most of up until the 16th of July, so on the 17th, around then, the sun moves into True Sky Cancer. So after that, I'll choose some other decks more relevant, I think, to the Cancerian energies. So I hope you're doing really well. And yeah, this reading, the first deck I'm beginning with, is the Mystic Fairy Tarot. And on the bottom of the deck, we have the Hermit, which really is like Virgo's own card. So the month of July for you is going to have that underlying energy of, you know, introspection, looking for answers within, needing that, you know, time alone and to really think things through before you're actually acting on them. However, the first card we have for you is the Queen of Pentacles, another very relevant card for Virgo. So the Pentacle suit, obviously being the Earth suit, really suits here the Virgo earthy energy. And so the Queen of Pentacles could be you. Even if you are not a feminine, it could just be that you are learning the feminine energies of the Earth currently. So the feminine Queen of Pentacles is a leader in her own life, very creative and very abundant. Often she does have children or is very fertile, you know, very abundant, has a lot of resources at her disposal, you know, doesn't need to stress about things. It's more that positive slant of the earth energies because she's obviously kind of mastered her realm. And if this isn't you, it could be someone in your life, or it could be an aspect in your life that you are taking on or going through or developing. So very relevant for Virgo for the month. Then as the crowning card for you, we have the Four of Pentacles. So the Four of Pentacles is a card of, you know, potential need to be conservative with your assets and also, you know, think about the future with what you have. So try to, if you can, be like frugal, try not to overspend this month, try to restrain yourself, and also try not to be obsessed with that as well. So do not get too over to let that rule your life for the month, but to also be aware of it and just prioritize, you know, your spending. Then we have the Two of Wands. So some say this is like the twin flame card. It doesn't have to be. However, for the month of July, Virgo, you do have the Lovers as your central card. So the Two of Wands is connected here with the Lovers in this cross formation. And due to it being connected with the Lovers, this could suggest that this lover situation could in part be to do with like a twin flame connection here. And also it could be linked in with here with this Queen of Pentacles, which could just be you, or it could be someone that you're involved in with. Then you have the Five of Wands. So the Five of Wands isn't as positive as, say, your Two of Wands. Your Two of Wands is more about expanding your territory and looking for different options in your life, you know, planning, potentially travel. It has that kind of, you know, wanderlust energy. So however, the Five of Wands is more a card to do with conflicts. It definitely could be like an argument or just fighting in general, you know, not cooperating, frustrations, competitions, battles, aggression, that kind of energy, even like potentially people being petty. So this is linked to this lover situation. So ultimately having the Lovers as your central card for the month of July does suggest that there is an important decision to make this month, and that there will be at least two options, and those options will have very different outcomes. So you really need to choose wisely, you know, which way you're going to go. And it does suggest there is some conflict involved in this choice, and that there is also some, you know, a lack of resources on some level as well, which is interesting because we do have this really abundant Queen here as well. So there could be potentially a choice that might be more abundant than others. And then you have the Magician. So the Magician is like the master manifester. So having the Magician and the Lovers together should be a really helpful combination, because ultimately the Magician is about, you know, manifesting in your life what it is that you want, and ultimately the decisions we make should be kind of aiming towards the things that we do want. And then you have the Three of Cups here, which is a card of celebration with friends and loved ones. So it's a nice card. So, you know, maybe there's some celebration this month that you catch up with someone or some friends. We've got a few here, and just have a nice, enjoyable, you know, celebratory occasion with them. And then the base of the Matter card for you for the month of July is that Seven of Wands. So you may feel like you really need to stand up. So that's that base of the Matter energy for you for this month, is that Seven of Wands. So there may be that energy, like you're feeling a bit protective, a bit defensive, a bit challenged, but it's not like a really bad energy. You know, you are standing up for what you believe in, and that's really important energy as well. Then you have the Three of Pentacles. So another Pentacle card. We have a few wands, 3 wands and 3 pentacles here. So the Three of Pentacles is that card of potential, even study or self-mastery. You're really working on something, and you could be collaborating with others here, which is a really good energy for Virgo. You know, work is often very important to Virgos, and doing a good job and getting things done well. And often when you're in a good team and it's functioning efficiently, you know, that can be a really good time for Virgos as well. So that's what we've got here, and it is linking up with this Queen of Pentacles. So this could be someone you're working with. It could be a love situation. It doesn't have to be. And then you've also got the connection there with the Magician. So that's all about manifesting. So maybe that's something that you're really wanting to focus on, is manifesting people that you can work with. You can working hard and building on something, you know, making sure that you're focusing on the details and building on the successes that you may have already experienced. So the next deck I'm going to clarify with is the Victorian Fairy Tarot, and on the bottom of the deck we do have the Fairy Bride, which is actually the card equivalent to your Lover's card. So once again, that's the like shadow energy of that deck. The underlying energy again is that Lover's energy, and then combined with the Hermit energy, to me that's really saying that make sure this month you really spend some time alone contemplating what it is, these decisions you need to make, and what is best for you and how to proceed forward. Ask your guides if you need some help. I see here that we do have the Awakening to clarify your central card here. So this month is really quite important for you. It's really quite crucial. And I think especially that you do ask for some higher guidance. It could be from someone in your life, but to me, I get the feeling that it's more of an inner thing. It's more of a spiritual thing here, because not only did we have that Hermit card on the base of the deck, the first deck, but then we also, with the Lovers on the other deck, but then also your central card is the Lovers, and then the clarification of the Awakening, which is like your equivalent to your Judgment card. So to me, that's saying that there is a really spiritual element to this decision that you need to make this month, that is weighing on you, that you really know that there's some crucial information that you need that's from some higher forces. But you can also go within to seek these answers too. And obviously look for signs and, you know, follow your gut. You will know what it is you need to do. Then you have this Queen of Pentacles here. You have the Ten of Winter. So this is like your Ten of Swords. This is to clarify this Queen of Pentacles. So to me, this is saying that this Queen of Pentacles, which could be you or someone in your life or just something that you're experiencing at this time, is going through or has gone through, either this month or recently, really dire situation. Significant loss, sadness, may even have the feeling of like betrayal. And it's a situation that could no longer go on. You need to move on from it and let it go. And it can be quite painful because there may have been a lot that you've invested into this situation, or this person has invested into this situation. So that, yeah, that is really important there for this Queen of Wands. Then for the Four of Pentacles, which is your crowning card, you have the Two of Autumn. So this was all about those financial circumstances, you know, being frugal and trying to save if you can, and just be aware of your spendings. The Two of Autumn is like your Two of Pentacles. So very similar energy. It's saying that there's a lot of decisions to make this month about spendings, any incomings, outgoings, and that you really need to be on top of it. So that's really double clarifying that energy there, which for a Virgo is a very Virgoan energy anyway. Like Virgos are often very good with that kind of thing, like managing their money and, you know, being frugal and things like that, economical. So for the Two of Wands, to clarify, we have the Wheel of Time. So this is like your Wheel of Fortune card. So this was about expanding your horizon. So this is definitely clarifying, saying it's a positive time to do this. So if you can take on that Two of Wands energy, like I said, it can be linked to that twin flame energy. And if that is in your life, there may be a really positive expansion period for this connection. There may be like incoming good fortune or just some kind of expansion in that area of your life. So the next card that we have here for you for the Five of Wands is the Eight of Spring, which is like your Eight of Wands. So we have two Wands cards here, the 5 and the 8. So this was that conflict card that could be coming in this month and linked to this decision. The Eight of Wands, however, gives a lot of energy, but it's very much also, I'm not sure if you can really see in this card. So they have arrows that they're aiming with their bows. And that's kind of the energy here that we have. So it's about using that energy to kind of propel yourself in the direction that you need to get to. So it's very much about like precision, but also there is also another energy here that may be relevant to that Lover's energy in the center of the deck. So if this decision involves more than one person, here that Eight of Wands energy can also be linked to potential like a romance that happens quickly, but also when you are away from home. So say on a holiday, if you're going on a holiday, or like you meet someone that's out of your, like on some travels, or There's also the energy of just being swept off your feet. You know, there's that real, it's a strong energy there. However, that is to clarify this Five of Wands. So potentially that energy may be a bit overwhelming. So because that Five of Wands is like about the conflict and potential, you know, confrontations and arguments and things like that, it might actually be really overwhelming. That's the kind of energy I'm getting here, is that, you know, these conflicts could be really overwhelming here. So it might actually, there is also an energy of potential with the Eight of Spring, or the Eight of Wands. Potentially, it's a very positive card, but there is an energy potentially of like obsessions or infatuations. So it's just such a strong energy, and it's hard to like resist it. It has that kind of energy. So just be aware of that. With these conflicts, there could be like a lot of energy there. And then ultimately it's saying that with the Lovers and then the Awakening, to clarify that you really need to, you know, that really important decision that you need to make this month will really lead to a new start and a new cycle in your life, and potentially like new opportunities opening up. And that's really relevant for when you find this reading as well. So you may find this not at the July time. You might find it and resonate with it. And if it does resonate, then, you know, take what resonates. So for the Magician card here, we have the Four of Winter, which is like your Four of Swords card. So it is associated with a need this month for rest and recuperation. You really do need to make the time and space to rest your mind and your body. And this will be really beneficial, I see here, with this manifesting energy. So when you feel rested and recuperated enough, you may find that your manifesting powers are greater. Then for the Three of Cups, which was all about celebrating with friends, you have the Seven of Summer, which is like the Seven of Cups. So this is saying that, yes, celebrating with friends is really important, but be aware of there's potential wishful thinking here and kind of illusions, potential delusions in this situation. So it may be that some advice someone gives you maybe isn't the right fit, or maybe you know, something like that. Like you might not be able to rely on these friends for more than just that celebration, because there's some kind of energy here that's just not very realistic. They might understand with your choices, like if you did talk to them about this situation you're in. So yes, I don't think that they will be, you know, reliable in that sense of understanding your situation. Here, that's the energy I'm getting with the Seven of Cups. Then we have the Seven of Wands clarified by the Magistrate. So the Magistrate is kind of like your Hermit card in this deck, and it once again is that Virgo card. So it's about going within to seek your answers and your knowledge and your spiritual wisdom. So we do have a bit of that theme this month for you. We not only have the Four of Winter, which is the Four of Swords here, which is that, you know, rest and recuperation. We had the Hermit on the shadow energy of the main deck, and then now as the base of the matter we have the Magistrate, which is like your Hermit card. And this is to clarify that Seven of Wands. So that was that energy about feeling defensive, you know, feeling like there's competition and that you really need to stand up for yourself, which is totally fair enough. However, the Hermit is more of an introverted card. So yes, you may be feeling that way, but just remember to take a step back and maybe not fight. Obviously, don't back down, but make sure you take some time to really think through what you're doing before you act on things. because the Hermit really has that kind of energy. It's a slower energy, and it is associated with Virgo. So they do like to do things in the right way. You know, you don't want to slip up and do something out of haste. Then for the Three of Pentacles, we have the Herald of Winter. So your Herald of Winter is like the Page of Swords. So this could be a child, like from childhood to say up to like 18 or, you know, late teens. And they could be of the air signs or the air houses or significant air rule planets in their chart. And they could have something really important to say to you. This is about this collaborating energy and this self-mastery that you're working on this month. And it is also linked to this decision that you are making. So potentially, maybe there is someone that you're making this decision with in mind. Maybe there is a child involved. Or maybe a young person involved in this situation, or maybe you just need to take a fresh approach to your mental, intellectual development. So often it can be a message coming in. So there might be some delay around something, some kind of news, and that you really need patience. There can also be a link to, you know, very curious energies here. And then also being truthful, like speaking your truth and being direct is also really important here as well. It's quite an inspiring energy, and it can even be linked to potential gossip. So having this situation with the Three of Pentacles, there could be someone you're collaborating with that could be gossiping here, potentially even about your situation. And this could even be linked in here with this, why you're feeling so defensive. The next cards I'm going to clarify with here for you for the month of July are the magical messages from the fairies. And on the bottom of the deck, we have business venture, trust and follow through on a new business idea and career opportunity. So this situation, this decision could really involve a business. That could be what you're developing, what you want to develop. Okay, the first card for the crowning card here we have, this was for the Four of Pentacles and the Two of Pentacles, or the Two of Autumn. Daughter. The answer to your question involves your daughter. So if you don't have a daughter, this could be you, or if you're not a feminine, it could be like your partner's daughter or someone else's daughter that's in your life, maybe in this business that you are potentially going into, then maybe a daughter involved. And she's going to be really important here. It's also to do with this, so this is to do with the frugal energies and all this decision making about resources. So if this is your daughter, obviously, you know, it is good to plan for the future. And maybe that's something you have been working on, is, you know, really trying to think about your daughter's future, or this daughter's future. For the central card for you for the month, we have dietary change. Improve your diet and your life will also improve. So this is really great advice for a Virgo. Often Virgos are very good with their diets, but sometimes we can all slip a little bit. And sometimes, you know, that slipping can lead to other things going on. So obviously here, this is what it's saying to focus on. And this is linked with this Lovers and the Awakening cards. This is your central cards for the month. So potentially even this decision and this need that you're searching for could also be linked here to your diet. So following, depending on what, you know, diet changes you need, maybe you might need to see a professional or not. Interesting that the next card we have, the base of the matter, actually this is the vegetarian card. A new way of eating gives you more energy, greater health, clarity, and stronger manifestation abilities. So we did have the Magician, we did have a manifesting card, and it was suggesting that you needed to really rest and recuperate at this time to really help with those manifestation powers. Here, however, it's saying that a vegetarian diet, maybe this is just a plant-based diet, maybe it's not strictly, say, vegetarian or vegan, but maybe just really focusing on plant-based, or having like, you know, your 7 veggies a day and your 2 fruit, and, you know, making sure you're getting all those good servings of your plant foods there. And this is for these 7 of Wands with the Magistrate. So this was about this feeling defensive and that potential needing to go in. So the next cards I'm going to clarify with are the Fairies Oracle. And on the bottom of the deck for you, we have the, is it Ilthi, the Retriever? Yeah, I think so, 41. So it's actually Ilby the Retriever. And they are linked to Office of Unclaimed Property, hopes and wishes, and loyalty. Ilby is trying to remind you of something you've lost. A hope, perhaps, or a dream. You may have thought it gone forever, but he is holding it out to you for reconsideration. He thinks you can do something with it now. The way may not be obvious, but his clever nose has scented a path, a potential opening for bringing this into your life. Sometimes Ilby may be saying that a long-awaited dream is at last arriving on the scene, and there is nothing we need to do but open our hearts and minds to it. However, we usually have to work for it. Another attribute of Ilby is loyalty. So that's the underlying energy of this deck. And the first card we have is Los Guna, and Los Guna is connected to the daughter, and the Journeyman linked to the dietary change, and Hikala linked to the vegetarian. So Los Guna, which is your crowning card here, is linked to sunken treasure, discovery of self, and adventure. Los Guna tells us to pay attention to our dreams, to listen to the murmur of the waters, to note the patterns in the damp, fallen leaves, to listen for the distant, high sounds of angelic music among the stars. She also suggests soothing baths, hot tubs, jacuzzis, trips to the nearest spa or hot springs, and dips in the handiest sea, pond, or mountain lake. Mud baths also help us quiet down and become strong enough to explore her territory, which is the earth and the waters, from the depths to the heights. As important as it is to explore the inner realms, she tells us that exploration of the outer realms is also vital. She suggests that we go places we have never been, try things we've never done, take classes and subjects we always meant to study someday. Maybe even learn a language and see where that takes us. Explore widely and deeply in our own world so that we develop the adventurousness of our spirits. It almost goes without saying, that she recommends exploring fairy. She also suggests kissing any metaphorical or actual frogs you encounter to test for princes or princesses, but I don't know how seriously you want to take that suggestion. So that's a funny one. Obviously, depending on what part of the world you live in, there are frogs that are poisonous and toads and things, so I wouldn't go around doing that. But yeah, interesting. The water and the earth. So this is linked to this daughter here. Lovely. So then we have the central card of the journeyman. And the journeyman symbolizes adventure, independence, polishing of skills, and travel. And we did actually have a couple of cards linked to travel here today. Like we had the 8 of Wands, and then we also had the 2 of Wands here. So this month could be a month, especially here with the journeyman, suggesting that you will. So adventure, independence, travel. A long path ahead, we hope. This card speaks to the need to perfect skills in working and living, but it acknowledges having a sound grounding in the basics. Optimistic, innocent, and willing to learn. Ongus shows us that intuition serves us well, but only if we pay attention to it. Sometimes we are operating from theory alone, and our knowledge may or may not be well grounded in reality. This card does not necessarily refer exclusively to beginnings. It can also signify a progression along a path, moving into the unknown from the known, a new phase in an ongoing process. This card may also represent untested concepts or ideas and suggests a need for balance between the intuitive and the rational as one approaches the unknown. Consider where you are going. What are your long-term goals? What are you doing that is helping you move toward them? So that's interesting. And this is linked to this dietary change. So potentially even you might be going somewhere that is linked to that. Like you might find that, you know, there's certain foods that might grow in a different area, or restaurants, or, you know, something that this linked to this journey this month for you. And then we have the base of the matter card. We have Mikolamako, and he symbolizes everyday blessings, play, and mixed blessings. Lighten up. What is needed here is the benefit of a childlike, trusting heart and childlike wisdom, seeing directly into the true nature of things. Don't contemplate matters. What you see is what you get. Don't look for hidden and subtle meanings and motivations, because they are not there in this case. It's so different from the last card, which was talking about how important intuition is. But this is the base of the matter. This isn't you. So go to the heart of the matter, the simple core hidden behind complexities. Don't be so caught up in thinking about the future that you can't see what's happening now. Welcome adventure into your life. Try something you've never done before, and take some time to play with Mikkel before you turn into a grumpy glump or a worn out work. So it's definitely suggesting adventure this month. So if you can, Virgo, do some kind of adventure, like depending on obviously your schedule and your life and whatever else is going on, you know, try to either go on a little journey or a little trip or a little adventure somewhere you haven't been, and somewhere I think that you've been drawn to or intuitively feel you need to go to, I think is really important as well. The next cards, however, are the Fairy Ring Oracle, And on the bottom of the deck, we have for you the Gruark. So the Gruark in your cards refers to matters concerning roots, traditions, ancestors, inheritance, family money or a family business, heirlooms, or the establishing of firm foundations in some sense. So that's the underlying energy. However, the first card for you is Nine of Spring, the Pixie, and the Fairy Festival Samhain, and Two of Summer Spring, the Leprechaun. Wow. Okay. That's interesting, the Leprechaun. So the crowning card here is the Pixie. And this is linked to the Lozguna card energies here. The Pixie suggests that you've been going through a difficult time, but the playful pixies are asking you to stop taking everything so seriously. Lighten up and have some fun. Laughter can be a great antidote to the trials of life. There is much truth in saying laughter is the best medicine. It really does reduce stress levels and boost the immune system. Remember when you were a child and the world was a wondrous and exciting place. Try to recover a little of this feeling. So that's your crowning card for the month. So that's lovely. It is really telling you to take adventures, I think, this month, isn't it? The central card for you this month, however, is the Fairy Festival of Samhain. It indicates powerful forces at work, leading to endings, change, the completion of a cycle, dissolution, and winding down. It may also mean ancestral contact, family or tribal ties, clairvoyance, and mediumship. So that is very interesting to me because obviously we did have that underlying energy here of like the Judgment card, the Awakening. So yeah, so seeking some help from spiritual sources, and this can mean, you know, ancestors as well as like gods or fairies or angels or guides or, you know, whatever it is you're working with. However, at the base of the matter you have for the month of July here, you have the Leprechaun. So this has got to be lucky, surely. So the Leprechaun appears in your cards, indicating material gain in the form of lottery, gambling winnings, competition, prizes, gifts, legacies, or some other unexpected windfall. Whether the leprechaun's gift is large or small, you must be careful how you use it. Otherwise, it may lose its charms or disappear as fast as the fairy gold that turns to dust and withered leaves when the sun rises. So yeah, so obviously when the fairies do bless you, you have to use them correctly. Otherwise they can turn on you. So, or they can disappear. So the next cards I'm going to read from, which is actually the last cards here. The last deck I have is the Fairy Tale Lenormand. And on the bottom of the deck, we do have the snake. So that's an underlying energy here for the month as well. However, we have the Sun for your crowning card. We have the Scythe, interesting. And we have the Heart. Okay, wow. So the snake card does have a potential negative energy attached to it. It can be linked to like trickery and deceit in relationships. It can be linked to like illicit affairs and like obviously cheating. And here linking with the scythe, the snake also has the energy of desires, like it's very much linked with like sexuality and that energy. And so with the scythe, which is normally about cutting away things, it could be saying that you know, there's an ending to, there's some desire, but there's a cutting away of a desire. However, having it with the heart definitely does seem to be saying that there is a really big desire for love. But you have to be aware that this love could be manipulative, and maybe even there might be a situation where there's like conflicts to do with desire and love. So, well, the sun here suggests that there's a desire for happiness and just the positive, seeing the positives in things. While the scythe with the sun actually does bring potentially like an end to fun and joy, or an ending that does not bring happiness. So this could be involved around this decision. That's what I'm feeling right now. And then also the scythe with the heart can definitely suggest like a broken heart or the ending of a relationship. So this may be what's going on. This decision that you're making at this moment could involve these kinds of things. I'm going to suggest that because we have the scythe more so clarifying these energies, that, yeah, there's definitely a decision. There's some kind of decision that you are being guided to make. There's this interesting dietary change that's going to improve your life. There's this journey that you're on. And this could be a journey involving this dietary change as well, because obviously the body and diet and nutrition and all that it's a massive thing. It's a massive thing to go down. If you're only starting out, there's so much to know. And then you have these Samhain energies. So this was also suggesting the closing up of a cycle and the beginning of another one, and definitely links to your ancestors here. So to me, the scythe is that you're cutting away the things in your life that do not serve you at this time. That's what I'm getting here. So I hope you have a fantastic month, Virgo. Just looking at the true sky, however, it's actually a really interesting day today. So we do have the exact conjunction of the Mars-Uranus transit at the moment in true sky Taurus. So I feel like this could be some of this energy here. So obviously Mars is a very active sign, and we had all that energy about the journeying, like expanding your horizons. We did even have that competitive energy and that you feeling defensive. So there's some of that real fiery energy here. We had quite a few wands cards. But then also I feel like, to me, this scythe energy is very much linked with that Uranus energy. Currently having Uranus in the nakshatra of Kritika, which in the Vedic system, Kritika is linked to like a knife or a dagger, and it is about cutting away the illusion and the ignorance. So having Uranus in this nakshatra, which it will still be for quite a while, it definitely brings this up. And to me, Virgo is a sign that could definitely be trining these Taurus placements. So it's in a fellow earth sign. So that could really be empowering you to cut away these things in your life that just are not working out, you know, that are dragging you down. And I mean, even here it was suggesting about, you know, trying to laugh, and it sounds like you've been going through some hard times. So we don't have anything major actually going on in, which is interesting because it's such a big sign. In the true sky, Virgo is the biggest. Virgo and Pisces are the biggest signs. However, obviously that will change in the future. We do, however, have Pluto in true sky Capricorn, which could be trining your Virgo placement or placements. So this is also a very transformative energy, and I'm feeling like this Pluto energy is also tied in here with that scythe energy as well. And then we've also got still quite a bit in Pisces, which is your opposite sign. So we've got Neptune, Saturn, and Chiron. So any of those could be potentially opposing your Virgo placement or placements. And so that could be bringing a bit of tension into your life. Also currently having the Sun in True Sky Gemini, which is a sign that could be squaring or challenging your Virgo placements this month. Obviously, once it moves into Cancer, it could be sextiling, so the whole month it's not going to be, but the Sun moves pretty quick. But then we've also got the current Mercury retrograde this month, and this is in True Sky Gemini as well. So that could also be challenging your Virgo placement or placements. And so that could even be bringing, because I did get with this reading, some energies were a bit confusing. It was like, say, doing one thing, and then it was kind of almost suggesting you to do the other as well, which obviously it's that polarity energy. So you've just got to balance things out. However, yeah, that's a bit challenging too. So the Mercury retrograde is still going to, most of the month, it will be happening most of this month. However, Jupiter is now in True Sky Cancer, so that could be sextiling your Virgo placement or placements. So yeah, that's the True Sky for the month. So obviously just take what resonates and leave the rest for those that it will resonate for. You can also always check out other signs that may be predominant or dominant in your chart, readings as well, so they're all upcoming. And if you can like, comment, subscribe, share, any of that is great. Thank you so much to everyone who already has. I really appreciate growing this little community here, and have a great month ahead. Okay, take care. Bye.